Okay, the ketogenic diet is becoming incredibly popular now, and you would think that with a rise in popularity, this huge fad that keto is becoming, with celebrities and all kinds of online fitness gurus jumping on the bandwagon, marketing keto, everyone's got their own keto plan, right? Unfortunately, many of these people are repeating loads of disinformation that is confusing the heck out of people, and I've got to sweep up the mess all the time when clients come to me repeating and spouting all kinds of stuff that they've been confused and confounded with. So, as always, I'm here to try to clear the air, to try to make this as simple and straightforward as humanly possible. A ketogenic diet is not complicated, it's being overcomplicated. You're being confused and you're being fleeced in your confusion. I can't tell you how many clients I've had come to me who have worked with other coaches, who have worked with other people who are being told to eat ridiculously low amounts of protein and absurdly high amounts of fat in an attempt to lose body fat. They're also wasting all kinds of money, time, and energy and stressing themselves into oblivion with like eating disorder level obsessive practices of testing their blood glucose like every 30 minutes, before, after, during meals, testing their ketones constantly. These blood glucose strips cost like $1 a piece, I think. The blood ketone strips in the United States can cost upwards of $5 a piece to test your blood ketones. These are people who simply want to lose body fat. These are not diabetics. These are not people with diseases. Unfortunately, this diet for them has become something that's more complicated, more restrictive, more confounding, confusing, and frustrating than even having diabetes, right? People who are starting a ketogenic diet are using more blood glucose strips, are using more blood ketone strips, and stressing themselves to oblivion, even more so than actual diabetics who need to use the blood glucose strips, right? I'm talking about non-diabetics spending hundreds of dollars a week testing their blood glucose, thinking that they're not making progress because they're not fitting within this narrow bandwidth that whatever guru out there says they should be within. If you're trying to lose body fat and you're using a ketogenic diet to do this, you have to understand, first of all, eating more fat will prevent you from burning more body fat. This is so basic, right? Energy balance still matters on a ketogenic diet. Unfortunately, there's people out there who are confusing individuals and telling them that energy balance somehow doesn't matter, that if you eat more fat, you'll lose more body fat, and that if you're not losing body fat, the solution is to eat more fat and eat less protein. So, let me say it again. Less protein to more fat is almost across the board never, it's almost never the answer to why you're not losing body fat on a ketogenic diet. It's almost never the solution. Okay, so I kind of went over all my main points right there already, but let me peck through these and unpack these a little bit. First of all, if you're doing a ketogenic diet for fat loss, medical ketogenic diet ratios are irrelevant to you. I'm sorry, the 80% fat, 70% fat, whatever dogma you've been told you've got to stick to is irrelevant. Think about this. If you are, say in my situation, right, 5'8", maybe a little less than 5'8", like 150, 155 right now. Say my protein intake on average is like 110 to 120 grams, which probably is most of the time, sometimes a little bit less if I'm not that hungry. That's my protein intake. I need that level of protein to maintain my lean muscle mass, to support the rebuilding and the regenerating of tissues if I'm doing like heavy resistance training or even doing a lot of physical activity, like if I'm working in the garden a lot or something, which I've not been working in the garden a lot lately. I didn't do all this, but it looks great, right? Looks freaking awesome. Jessica's hyped on it. Ariana's coming down to talk about it. But anyways, let me finish this. I've got a certain amount of protein that I need. That protein's going to stay fixed whether I'm in a deficit or in a surplus, right? So if I'm on a ketogenic diet, first of all, we have to figure out the context. If I'm doing it for fat loss, I've got a specific amount of protein I've got to hit. And I want to be burning body fat, right? So 80% fat. So I don't calculate my macros by looking at how much protein I think I need and then making up the rest of it, the rest of the 80% of my calories from fat. That's absurd. It's irrelevant, right? I set my protein. I've got my protein fixed. I need a certain amount of it. Fat is what I move according to my goals. Of course, on a ketogenic diet, carbohydrates have to stay low enough to where you're burning fat for energy. Now, fat moves according to your goals. So for me, if I want to burn more body fat, I put less on the plate. It's that simple. If I don't want to burn my own body fat, then my ratios might look like something like 80% fat. Now, the reason we say 80% fat, not me, not we, the reason people say 80% fat on a ketogenic diet is because the literature that they're seeing on a ketogenic diet from back in the day is for epileptic children who need to remain weight stable and even grow, and a ketogenic diet can make it really difficult because keto torches hunger. So, the magic of keto is not that you can eat as much as you want, that as long as it's 80% fat, you're going to lose body fat. That's not true. The magic of keto is that once you induce ketosis, the hormonal state, balance that your body achieves, favors really low hunger, right? You're just not hungry, and you naturally don't eat as much. So some people don't have to be concerned with how many grams of fat they're eating because they're naturally not hungry on keto. For other people, it doesn't work so magically like that, right? It's not magic for everybody. But when people do find an advantage to a ketogenic diet for losing body fat, it's because of the suppression of hunger. Not because that calories don't matter, you can eat as much as you want. Also, remember, a ketogenic diet for fat loss is not a medical ketogenic diet. If you're doing a ketogenic diet for cancer, if you're doing a highly restrictive, highly intensive ketogenic diet because you have epilepsy and you're getting seizures if you exit ketosis, and a ketogenic diet is one of the only ways to maintain that stable brain chemistry. Tickle my throat. If you're doing it for those reasons, then of course, maintaining elevated blood ketones all the time is important. But for people who are losing body fat, for the average individual, for the average housewife, for the average dude who just wants to lose some weight, right? What percentage of Americans are overweight right now? How many of them could benefit greatly from a nutrient-dense diet that's simple, straightforward, that allows them to burn body fat, to eat less, and to get their health in line, right? How many people could greatly benefit from that? I think it's a disservice when we confuse and confound people and make it seem so complicated when really a ketogenic diet for these people who've got like 100 pounds, 150 pounds to lose, it's super simple. It's get enough protein in. For most people across the board, especially if you're weight training, 0.8 grams per pound of your lean body mass is well within the ketogenic range and is a safe amount of protein, so none of the fitness freaks can complain about it because we all know the high protein levels, the high protein intake that can be promoted in the joke of the fitness industry. But it's well within that ketogenic range also, so that the zealots out there who for whatever reason are so fixated on having those blood ketone levels solid all throughout the day, even though these people are not on a medical ketogenic diet, they're not going to get seizures from the transitory rise in blood glucose that happens after eating any solid meal due to the rise in glucagon, right? Your blood sugar rises after a meal. Insulin is there to lower that blood sugar after the glucagon raises it up. They work in concert. The body achieves this perfect balance. In non-diabetics, right? I'm not talking about type 1 diabetics. We need to stop influencing relatively healthy individuals who just want to lose body fat into living this insane diabetic lifestyle. You don't need to be measuring your blood ketones all the time. Stop wasting your money on these things, please. Those blood ketone strips, unless you're doing this for epilepsy, for a serious disease, most individuals that I see obsessing over this are just wasting time and energy, have just found something else to harness, something else to channel all that tension, that frustration, that obsessiveness into. And it becomes like an eating disorder, right? This is supposed to be something that's liberating. Right? If you're losing body fat, you're supposed to be liberating yourself from the heaviness of carrying around that excess weight all the time, right? carrying around that inflammation all the time. You want more energy, more life, more time, more life force to put into something meaningful in your life, right? Why would you want to? Why would you be attracted to a diet that makes you obsessive all day long about these insane metrics like your blood glucose levels if you're a non-diabetic, constantly testing your blood glucose level? Why would you be attracted to this, right? I do not understand why people, I do understand, right? I understand what happens. I understand the type of people that get attracted to those things, to those extremes. What I'm trying to get at here is health does not lie on the extremes, right? It's about balance. If we're constantly obsessing over your blood ketone numbers, every hour having to check your blood glucose, I have clients that ask me, can I lift heavy weights? And I say, of course you can lift heavy weights. If you enjoy lifting heavy weights and it's benefiting you and it's a positive part of your lifestyle, there's many health benefits to it too. Of course you can lift weights. Why do you think you can't? Well, because this guru told me that your blood glucose will go up if you lift too heavy. And then so they go and they test their ketones and their glucose during and after a workout. And during a workout, naturally our blood glucose rises. The stress hormone released in a workout causes a rise in blood glucose. You want that. You need that. You need the glycogen. So people are testing during and after their workout and freaking out because their blood glucose goes up and their ketones go lower for a little bit. So they think they can't work out. This is the level of obsession that some people are attracted to for some reason. But there's a much simpler way to do it, right? There's an easier way to do it. You keep your carbs low enough and you're not eating astronomical levels of protein to where you're oxidizing protein for energy, right? Get sufficient protein, keep the carbs low enough. Fat's your energy source. In the beginning, you're eating some more fat to be about maintenance calories because you don't want to stress the body out too much when you're adapting. So your fat might be a little higher in the beginning. But if you're trying to burn body fat, you will have to dial the fats back to tap into your body fat because the energy balance thing matters. You can gain weight on keto. Can't tell you how many clients I've had come to me who've been told to eat 200, 300 grams of fat and insanely low protein. And they're feeling nauseous and sick on these plans, these cookie cutter plans, feeling nauseous and sick on it, and gaining body fat. Simple adjustment to the macros using logic. And they lose body fat, they feel good, they can do it long term. They stop wasting their time and money obsessing over the blood glucose strips and the blood ketone strips. And I haven't even gotten to the exogenous ketones. I'll save you some time and I'll just say here that I believe they're a waste of time. You can make your own free exogenous ketones for far less than the $5 per dose that you're going to pay these MLM marketers for their product. You can make free ketones. In fact, while you're making those free ketones, you can be losing body fat. All right? And it's not that complicated. It's not scary. It's not this insanely difficult thing. It doesn't even have to be restrictive, right? But it depends on the context. If the context is fat loss, all the following applies. If you're doing a medical ketogenic diet for whatever reason, you really need to do a medical ketogenic diet, of course, then you need to be concerned with these things, with your blood glucose, with your blood ketone levels. I'm talking to the people who want to lose body fat. I'm talking to the people who want to keep it simple. I'm talking to the people who don't want to waste time, energy, and money on this anymore, and who don't want to waste time in confusion. So anyways, that's it. That's all I got for you. You can find more at primaledgehealth.com. If you want to save some time, save yourself some confusion, check out the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, a training manual for low-carbohydrate, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. It's available on our website exclusively on primaledgehealth.com. My wife made it. Ariana here. What's up, Ari? Did you help with the book? She helped a lot. Ariana helped a lot in the creation of this book. It took Jessica over 1.5 years to make it. And we call it a training manual because it really is a training manual. It's not just a list of recipes. All the recipes use whole foods ingredients. There's not a bunch of processed crap in there. Not a bunch of food porn crap. Not like keto cinnamon rolls and stuff like that. We want to teach you and equip you so that you can do this long term, so that you can make it sustainable, so that you can enjoy it, you can prepare your own foods, right? You got to be able to prepare your own food if you want to be successful at any long-term fat loss strategy. Preparing your own food is crucial. So we've assembled what we believe to be the quintessential resource for arming you to prepare keto foods. So check out the book. It's only available at primaledgehealth.com. It will save you time and energy. And I don't know, I can't say enough about it. My beautiful wife did such a good job at it. So anyways, you can find more at primaledgehealth.com. Keep it simple. Stop overcomplicating keto. Okay? It's not that complicated. It's not that hard. I've been doing it for years. Right? You can be successful long term without wasting loads of time, money and energy, and without being obsessive and turning it into an eating disorder. I'll see you next time.